The jokes didn't seem to land as you wanted. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's always tough. You got to know what's going to come as jokes for them, what they like, what they don't like the first time going through. I mean, this is all new for all of us, especially me. So just trying to put my personality out there, and, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, Thursday, February 27th. Happy Chili Day, y'all. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Taz Mellon.
Yeah, happy Chili Day, everybody. I had no idea.
Did you hope you brought some?
Yeah, for sure. It's in the slow cooker, so it's not here, but it's cooking somewhere.
Excellent. We got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey, yo. The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Leigh Ellis.
Friend.
And last but not least, making the magic happen, it's JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Your voice sounded different.
Yeah, I know. I somehow have picked up an injury from playing basketball to my voice box.
Your larynx.
Yeah, my larynx. I wasn't calling out all that much last night, but woke up this morning with a bit of a scratchy throat. So
You sound wild.
I think that just shows, once you hit over 40, you
Yeah.
can pick up all sorts of injuries just from playing basketball.
Yeah, totally true.
Yeah.
I often get a little congested after playing a little basketball, too.
Yeah.
There's something
I
going
had a
on.
little bit of phlegm in the old throat this morning, too. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Just a little, huh?
Well, a little more than a little, but a little.
Why don't you take a big swig of that booch you got there? Take a big old swig. You'll feel better.
Clog it up a little bit in there.
I tend to not,
You don't like to chug it.
No.
But
This is more a sipper.
No, you got to really coat your throat there. There we go. All right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at No Dunks Inc. We'll hopefully jump outside today to open up an old pack of basketball cards. We will go live on Instagram TV. I don't know. We might have to cancel it, though, with this guy.
Nah.
Under the weather. No? Got it? Got it in you? I don't know if I want to touch the cards after you touch them, though. That's going to be a problem. I'll wear gloves.
Okay.
We're on Facebook at facebook.com/NoDunksInc.
Well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook.
And you can email us your NBA questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. We hit the beach yesterday to answer some of your cues. Topics included the NBA's best team of the 21st century, our sixth man of the year favorites, Kyrie Irving's Hall of Fame credentials, iconic what-if plays, what-if moments, sleepovers, so much more. Always a blast. Go download and listen to that Beach Steppin' episode that we dropped yesterday afternoon. All right, lots to get to here on a Thursday. And we'll start with a little true or false. First one, we got more bad news for the Sixers. Joel Embiid left Wednesday night's game against the Cavs. He was ruled out with a left shoulder sprain. He will have an MRI today. Keep your eyes on the tweets there, guys. Big man, he held his shoulder when he ran into Ante Žižić. And, he went to the foul line. He was in obvious pain, missed the 2 free throws, and he was in the back, and he came back, whatever. He didn't return to that game. So this is bad.
Did he hurt his larynx as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
so. But here's the true or false question.
Larynx.
With the Embiid injury.
Larry larynx.
With the Embiid injury off of the Ben Simmons back injury. True or false? This 76ers season is a wrap.
Come on.
You can stick a fork in it.
I don't think so. I think it's a pretty
that's false.
non-serious injury with the way it looked. I don't. It's a standard. Joel Embiid is not going to play 70 games this season. He's got to slow the pace down. He was on pace for like 69. You got to slow it down a little bit. He'll be right in his range of 63 or 64. I think he'll be back.
Okay.
My worry is he's not going to be playing. Is he going to be keeping in shape this
Right.
next week or two? That's my biggest worry. But combined with the Ben Simmons, sure, it's easy to worry, but they're still going to be no lower than 6.
Yeah.
When
It's
it comes
almost,
down to
maybe even impossible for them to even fall out of 5th right now. Not that that's good. I mean, we know how bad they are on the road. They did lose this game to the Cavs, too. That's the other part of this. And I know the Bickerstaff bump is a true thing. It's a real thing.
They're playing hard for him.
They are playing hard, but still, the Sixers, you shouldn't be losing this game. I don't care if you don't have Simmons and Embiid. You do have 3 other guys that are paid a lot of money in Tobias Harris and Al Horford and Josh Richardson, and they combined for 30 points. That's it. That's rough.
Yeah.
You think the season's over?
Well, I mean, the season was not looking great even when they had Embiid and Simmons
Yeah.
playing, to be honest, because I don't think they're in that top echelon of the Eastern teams myself, in the Celtics, the Raptors, and, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
So this really just now sets them back, and you kind of mentioned it there. They really now have to be desperate to make sure they don't fall too far away from that 4th spot. They must have home court advantage in the first round. Like, that's the best they can hope for right now, no matter what how their situation plays out. Because even in that scenario, they're likely to face the Bucks in the second round.
Yeah.
So things aren't looking great for them. But yeah, that was a weird injury because there was no big collision.
No.
It was more he was just trying to do a
Establish-
Trey Kirby
Yeah,
there, really. Just trying to
establish-
sort of get that big body down there in the paint. And it almost, I don't know exactly how he was able to injure it so bad. So hopefully that means it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Because
Like a little stinger of some sort. But
yeah.
It looked weird.
Get it checked out, I guess.
Just got bent the wrong way, kind of, I suppose. I've been a big-time Sixers backer, and I've kind of been the last holdout of maybe this team will be able to get it together at some point, and even I'm feeling pretty anti-Sixers these days. I guess the good way you could spin this is that maybe now Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Josh Richardson can really be empowered. They can really get some rhythm going here the last 20 games of the season without the two guys who are going to have the ball the most in the playoffs if Embiid and Simmons are able to make it back for the playoffs. I don't know. Just seems like one of those seasons where things keep going wrong, and then it feels like maybe they'll get a little bit better, and then things just keep going wrong, and then it gets a little bit better, and then it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Those seasons happen. It happened to the Lakers during the Dwight Howard season where they're like, our season starts now. And then they would lose a couple of games. Somebody would get hurt. Our season starts now. Our season starts now. It happened to the Celtics last year. Feels like it's happening to the Sixers this year.
Right. And anytime you have to verbalize stuff like that, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
should just be playing basketball and be playing well. And I said the same thing about Joel Embiid feeling empowered when Ben Simmons went out. I thought maybe this guy's going to be the number one guy and feel like the number one guy for the last couple months. Go beast mode into the playoffs. And I understand what you're saying with the Al Horford and Tobias Harris, but those guys aren't necessarily even in those roles ever, even when Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid come back, while Embiid sort of has that role. So I think it's just a bad sign, period. And good teams just don't lose 7 games in a row on the road.
Yeah.
Well, they're terrible on the road, and they got lucky that the Heat are actually playing pretty badly.
Yeah.
And they lost.
The Heat one-upped them somehow last night, losing to the Wolves and having, like a 12-point lead with 4 minutes to go and somehow lost.
17-3 run to end the game, and Jimmy Butler just stopped scoring.
Yeah. This would be a strange Heat-Sixers first-round matchup if it is to happen. Do you think at all, and I know I'm jumping ahead here with this idea that, like, oh no, Simmons' back is really severe and he doesn't come back maybe this year, or who knows with Embiid's shoulder after the MRI. Could these injuries at all save possibly Brett Brown's coaching job with Philadelphia as sort of, well, he doesn't have his 2 stars, his 2 superstars, and he somehow survives? Like I'm saying in that hypothetical, he loses in the first round or they get waxed by the Bucks even in a second-round series. Or is he gone?
If they can make it to the second round, I think he's probably okay.
That would be enough to you,
I think so. If you lose to the Bucks, if you lose
without those 2 guys.
Well, without one of them at least,
Yeah.
certainly. I mean, if the Bucks win 70 games or thereabouts, then I don't think that's too bad. But I have a feeling that the Sixers may want to look for an excuse to move on from Brett Brown anyway, and they might have this one here. So he's had a long time. He only signed a 1-year extension, I believe, anyway, last season. So they didn't have a lot of faith in him, and he's been there a long time, and the Sixers haven't been able to sort of take that next step up to the conference finals.
There is still time here, I guess. I mean, what we were just saying right before we jumped on here, 6 or 7 weeks, playoff start, something like that.
Yeah,
so
7.
Time to get healthy and put a little run together and maybe be a dangerous team come playoffs. But every time you get excited a little bit, like you said, Trey, for Philly, something else happens. And it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Wait, other way around. 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know. I'm still like, I remember the season when Embiid went out towards the end of the season. They went on a huge winning streak with Ben Simmons, right? So you're like, they can always put it together at any time. And I don't know, they're 59 games into their season, and it feels like they can still put it together at any time. Will you actually do it? I don't know. The pieces just don't fit to me. And, a lot of the players that were brought in over the summer, in Richardson and Horford, got long deals. Tobias Harris has a long deal, so those guys aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So who's going to go somewhere? Elton Brand ain't firing himself. Something is going to change eventually. So maybe Brett Brown survives the end of this season. Maybe he survives into next season, but it would be a quick hook, I would imagine, next year if things start out poorly.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they don't go into next season with the exact same plan. Mm-hmm. They lost the second round twice the last 2 years. If they do the same thing, even if they get around, I don't see them going next year with Brett Brown.
I don't either.
I agree. Elton Brand will be there. I guess he's modeling his team after himself a little bit. Everybody shoot that mid-ranger, baby.
Everybody's big.
And everybody is monstrous. But it's been the longest 59 games of any team, right? It just feels like so long. It's been an arduous process, I think, for us and for them.
Yeah, that's where it is similar. I've said this before. It's similar to the Celtics with Kyrie last year.
Yeah.
It is. And where it's like the talent's there. You can still believe in them. Maybe they get it going in the playoffs. But it's when it feels just way heavier and longer for what already is a heavy and long regular season. That's never a good sign. And maybe at some point you just got to be like, okay, it's not the year. And changes need to be made. Maybe that's where we're at with the Sixers. You tell us. Let us know on Twitter at NoDunkSank, true or false, on the Sixers season being a wrap here. We'll ultimately find out how severe this shoulder injury is, too, with Embiid. If he's done for the year, then I don't have them winning a first round against the Miami Heat. Because I don't think they're going to drop. That's the crazy part. They're probably locked into fifth here. Like,
Well, they're only
how
a game
far are
and
the
a
Pacers?
game and a half.
Oh,
A
is
game
it
and a
that
half.
close?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was bigger in my mind. Though they haven't, given us a lot of confidence either.
No, they haven't.
Pacers.
But the Sixers, they have.
Okay, I thought
one,
they were further back.
They have one game at home against the Knicks tonight, and then they go on that big 4-game road.
Right, with the Lakers and the Clippers
Yeah.
and all the Cali teams. Yeah. And we know they're not great on the road. All right, keep it going here. Last night, Jason Tatum and his Beantown boys pulled away in the fourth quarter to hand the Jazz their fourth straight loss, 114-103. That was in Utah. Royce O'Neal moved into the starting lineup for the Jazz, replacing Joe Ingles. Though originally in the day it was reported that Mike Conley would come off the pine. But no, he started and he hit some threes. But Jazz lose again. So I'm going to ask you here, because of that whole confusion yesterday, with the Athletic all over this story about who's in, who's out for the Jazz and the starting lineup and trying to switch it up. True or false, Conley should be the one to return to the bench. O'Neal in, Ingles in, and Conley to the bench. True or false?
True. I think so, because Mike Conley has joined this team, whereas Joe Ingles has been there for a few years, and I just think Joe Ingles plays better with that starting unit. Mike Conley, the fit has just not worked. And I think at this stage of his career, he would be a more effective player coming off the bench, in a role where he can still score, he can shoot, he can still distribute the ball. And the most confusing thing about this, though, was how we heard originally it was going to be Mike Conley going to the bench, and then it was Joe Ingles. Like, that to me really shows that Quinn Snyder has sort of lost confidence in himself.
Well, I don't think he made the decision. Who
did then?
I don't think Quinn Snyder made the decision. Somebody must have spoke out.
Yeah.
Because if the first report is that Conley's going to the bench, and then all of a sudden there's this change that Conley is back into the starting lineup, either someone in Conley's camp who basically was like, hey, we got traded here, we want to be in the starting lineup, or somebody in the front office that wants to make that trade for John Morant being traded to the Memphis Grizzlies for Mike Conley look good. I just don't see why Quinn Snyder would make this move when Joe Ingles entered that starting lineup and things went perfectly for them. They're 24-12 with Joe Ingles in the starting lineup, and 12-10 without him. I don't see why you would take Ingles out of it.
It should be Snyder's decision, though. He's the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He should be the one who says, no, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Why would they change? I can understand maybe Conley's, if you look at it from you zoom out and you say maybe Conley in the starting lineup, they have a higher ceiling.
Right. We've talked about that in the past, that you might need Conley balling out if you're going to go 2 or 3 or 4 rounds into the playoffs.
And I mean, part of it's got to be the confidence factor too, right? You don't want to bench a guy who is a proud veteran, who is your big acquisition over the summer. You don't want to send him to the bench and basically say, we were playing great when you were hurt, and now that you're back, we're playing pretty poorly. Go to the bench. Maybe we'll be good again. Maybe that's Snyder's thinking if he is the one making the call. I don't know. But Ingles needs to be in there because he gets the ball to Rudy Gobert. And I think that is the huge thing. He has the best chemistry as a pick-and-roll partner with Gobert. And Gobert just... If he is not getting the ball on offense, he's starting to take plays off on defense. There are clips where he is, there's a guy driving to the rim and he's there. He could challenge. And I mean, he's had some fouls for sure in the past couple of games. And surely he's watching those, but that's not the Rudy Gobert that we're used to seeing. And there are so many times he's open underneath the hoop. Mitchell's missing him. Conley's missing him. There was a great roll where Conley threw the ball 8 feet in the air and Gobert barely got his fingers on it. There are times when Gobert is open, that he could be scoring, that he should be able to produce offensively as a role guy, but only Ingles, it seems, is able to find him. Yeah. And if he's not getting the ball, why would he be 100% in on defense when he's the only guy playing defense?
And Joe Ingles has just struggled when he's tried to come off the bench this season. So
another clunker last night. 2 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. Right?
And could never get any sort of flow going there.
Yeah.
But really, unless it's coming from the team ownership or the general manager, an agent should not have any impact on the coach decision. And
Mike Conley also does not feel like the type of guy.
No.
I'm sure he's got some pride, and I'm sure he wants to start. Don't get me wrong, but doesn't feel like the type of guy to be like, no, I need the ball. I
Said
need
he
all
just
my
went
possessions.
home and took a nap.
Yeah, like it's
woke up and he was starting again.
I think it's like Al Horford.
It's like Al Horford,
Yeah.
right? This vet guy. It's
Yeah.
like anything to do to help the team. If it's better than me coming off the bench, let's do that.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely a bad look for Utah though that's what happened. Within an hour or two or whatever of them make. Why would they even make that announcement either?
And they told, according to the Athletic reports, they told their players at shoot around that Conley's going to the bench. And then, see, that's why I think somebody else got involved. But I don't necessarily know. I just think your team's playing well with one guy. I know they've struggled a little bit lately, but Joe Ingles is the guy. I think the difference between Joe Ingles and Rudy Gobert as pick and roll partners is that Mike Conley's used to playing with Marc Gasol, and he gives Rudy Gobert the ball.
Or even like a Zach Randolph.
Yeah, guys who can handle and score from 10, 12, 14 feet. And that's where he gives Rudy Gobert the ball. And Rudy Gobert can't make things happen from there. He's got to be – they are missing him at the rim, but that's where he should be getting the ball, not way out there. And that's it doesn't work. Joe Ingles knows where to give him the ball, and they just listen. I think we're probably skimming over the Celtics being awesome in this game.
Also true.
And they steamrolled them a couple times. Like the Jazz kept fighting back, and it was a close game at half. It was a close game at the end of the third quarter there. But Tatum went on a run, Jaylen Brown went on a run, Marcus Smart went on a run. So they had three guys playing really, really well, and the Jazz aren't.
And Daniel Tice was great, too. Yeah. He felt like he was running all over the place, just tip dunks left and right and just being active. And, with Gobert just not 100% in it, that was a difference maker.
Yeah. 4 losses since the All-Star break have now dropped Utah from what was a very, viable shot at the number 2 seed in the West all the way down to like 1 game out of the number 7 spot. That big a swing here, again, just since the All-Star break, which is crazy. So you are saying, it sounds like everybody's agreeing, it should be Conley, probably the one coming off the bench. Ingles in there. Royce O'Neal, it sounds like nobody has a problem starting too because their defense has been brutal, and he's their best perimeter defender.
Definitely.
Especially at getting back in transition where they've been waxed over the last little bit. So that makes sense. Now it's going to be interesting to see what they do now.
Yeah.
Do they just switch it up again and okay, Conley, let's try this, or do they dig your heels in and say we can make this work? Because again, Conley wasn't brutal offensively. He was hitting shots, and that's what he couldn't do really early in the season. But this is wild. We were wrong. I mean, look, I was wrong. I think most of us were wrong about Conley looking like the perfect fit for a Utah system. Like, he's a guy that can play off the ball because he can shoot. He's still, even up in age, is a pretty strong defender at the point guard position, which he's lost a step there. I don't know how much injuries come into play there. He hasn't been all that great. It hasn't worked at all. It's shocking, and he's under contract for what, like another year and a half? Right?
So, he's got $32 million player option next season, so
he'll probably take it.
I think so.
But it is weird watching Conley just chuck. He gets the ball now. I don't know. There's a comfort level he just hasn't found. He doesn't have the ball in his hands as much anymore because Donovan Mitchell does. Joe Ingles does, and then when he gets it, he just fires. And some of the threes went down, but the twos, he doesn't have touch inside.
He used to have that floater dropping left and right.
I don't know what's going on.
Disappeared on him.
And then the weird thing is you go to the bench, and then Jordan Clarkson's getting all the shots too.
I was just going to say that. Yep, that's exactly right. It's like where's a spot now for him on this team? But again, it comes back also to the defense, and I think what you were saying, Trey, is spot on. The idea of you got your guy, your defensive player of the year here in Rudy Gobert is he's checked out because of probably the other end. They're missing him, and he's getting not touches, and they got to get this going here. It's weird to have 3 of these teams that we were so high on for a stretch there early in the season in Miami, in Philadelphia, and in Utah are all in the slumps right now.
Yeah.
Bad timing. Still 6-7 weeks, like we said, before the playoffs, but you got to get it going, turn it around here. All right, final one. Russell Westbrook delivered another dominant performance in the Rockets' 140-112 win over the Grizzlies last night. Russ led the way with 33 points, 9 boards, 8 assists, 4 steals in just 34 minutes. Before the game, Ja Morant told reporters that Westbrook's play is taken for granted and that he's highly disrespected. So I thought this was a fun one. True or false? Ja's right. Westbrook is taken for granted / disrespected in a way.
I think it's false. I think Sounds
Russ, like you're disrespecting him.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look. I think we've given Russ plenty of praise over the years. I'm talking big picture here. I'm not just talking this season or this stretch. And Russell Westbrook, no doubt, he's been a fantastic player, but he's got some bad habits that have cost him big time in big moments in the playoffs. And I think what we have seen of him recently is a completely different player, and he's having much better results. And so he's being highlighted in a different way. But I don't think he's disrespected. I mean, I think we all respect what he has been able to do as far as averaging a triple-double for 3 years. Incredible stuff. But
isn't that a way of disrespecting him by saying, yeah, he averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons, and now he's playing the best in his career?
Well, I don't think so, because I think they're just two completely different stages of his playing career. I mean, going into the playoffs the last couple of years, I remember myself thinking, like, he can't get out of his own way, and that's going to affect his team. And that clearly happened against the Blazers and the Jazz, where he only won, 3 games in those 2 whole series. And the Blazers, they swept the Blazers during the regular season. So Russ has that problem, is that he gets caught up in these little pissing contests within a game, and it costs him. So I don't think it's disrespectful to point that out. I think it would be disrespectful if you say something like, this guy's not a Hall of Famer. He shouldn't be, he shouldn't be in the All-Star game or anything like that.
No one thinks that.
No.
Well, you shouldn't, at least, yeah.
No. So I think he's fairly rated, but he has to now play the way he's been playing in the playoffs, almost like a Dirk, where it's like, okay, now Dirk didn't really change the way he played, but he just got over the hump. Westbrook needs to get over the hump in the playoffs. Of course, he's been to the finals a long time ago, but this is now a stage of his career where it's like, are you a different player, or are you just a different regular season player?
I just think this is Ja Morant's first year, so I don't think young man's looking big picture. I just think he's talking about right now, and some people didn't think Russell Westbrook should be in the All-Star game. We all had him sort of on the periphery and didn't have him as our picks. And, yeah, he's turned it on since then. And he's got a special skill that I think Ja Morant just appreciates, and the fact that you can't teach him motor. And that's it. I think that's simple as that. I think Ja's just appreciating him. That's it.
And Ja Morant, even back to his Murray State days, he's been often compared to Westbrook, right? The idea of that speed and explosiveness, so that makes sense that he would like a guy like Westbrook if you see similarities in his game. But Russ has played, this is maybe the best stretch of his career, these 25 games. He's averaging 32, 8, and 7 in the past 25, shooting over 50% from the field. That's really the only stat when you talk about Westbrook that's usually the knock against him. It's like, yeah, okay, triple-doubles, 30-point triple-doubles, but your efficiency stinks. And oh yeah, you're also not a 3-point shooter, but you jack like 5 or 6 a game.
Yeah.
But he's cut that out. He's like not really doing that now.
42 attempts in 2020.
Yeah.
That's it. He had 57 in January alone, 74 in November.
That's amazing.
He stopped shooting, and now that he's playing the way people wanted him to play, that's why you're hearing that Russell Westbrook is having the best stretch of his career. And, shout out to Mike D'Antoni and Daryl Morey, who decided Westbrook's good enough as a big guy, basically, as a secondary playmaker, that we can go with all smallies.
Yeah.
And, there aren't a lot of guys who are 6'4" and a guard that make that team possible. But the Rockets were getting crushed on the glass when Clint Capella was around, and Westbrook said, I'll just go get them all.
Yeah.
And that really changed the season for the Rockets, because they figured out, oh, okay, our point guard's going to rebound? That's awesome. I guess we'll go with that. And it's worked out perfectly so far. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. Things change when you're able to scout it and you're not getting surprised by playing against a bunch of 6'7", 6'9" guys. But right now, it looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you watch that Grizzlies game, I know they blew him out, but they're going against a giant guy like in Valanciunas. Westbrook was on him like half the time, and they just front him. And they're like, well, what? I mean, and Valanciunas is a guy that you're not really worried about the lob threat there because he's not that athletic, but he just plays so damn hard. He fronts and he's helping, and then they finish the possession by he goes up and gets a rebound amongst all the trees because he just jumps higher than all these guys. So, yeah, this is really what's happened with Westbrook. Is how people are like with LeBron or a guy like Westbrook over the years are just like, why don't you just go to the hole every time? Why don't you just drive every time? And it's so not fair to say, because if it was that easy, they would do that. But it's actually, it's taxing, it's exhausting, it's just not realistic. But Westbrook is getting damn close to that. There was in the second quarter of that game last night, he had 5 or 6 layups where he's just attack, and then finishing left and right. He's becoming as close as you could possibly get to why don't you just go to the rim every time? And it's smart with a guy like him when you can't shoot the 3.
Yeah, and it's increased his efficiency, like you said, everywhere on the floor, and especially at the rim. And that was the worrisome part last year. It just looked like, he'd kind of get to the rim, but there would be a center there, clank, clank, clank. It just wouldn't go in the postseason. Now there isn't a center there. Or it's Rudy Gobert or somebody or Jonas Valanciunas that he can get around. what they've done, I think, is just given this team a real identity, and now they have like this mental confidence that, yeah, we're going to play this way. This is our style. We're the only team playing this style, and they feel good going into every game.
The Pocket Rockets. It is weird, too, to me. I don't know what it is here. Maybe just because he's been so dominant, and not that Harden hasn't, but it feels like it's like veered toward this team being, in a weird way, Westbrook's team.
Come on.
It
This is
feels
like when
that
people
way.
said it was Paul George's team with the Thunder last year. This is still Harden's team. He's still their best player, but Westbrook has had an impact, no doubt. Rockets were bottom 5 in pace last year. Now they're 3rd in pace because Westbrook is taking the ball off the glass and pushing it.
Go.
And, I think switching to the Pocket Rockets style combined with the Westbrook energy, like, you have to play harder when it's all small guys, because like Westbrook has to give a ton of effort to guard and to front a Jonas Valanciunas, even if Valanciunas isn't a huge offensive threat. It just, everybody is locked in and everybody is giving full efforts right now.
Well,
and
that's
part of
also-
that is Westbrook for sure.
And Westbrook is taking back-to-backs off, so he's kind of preparing himself better.
Good point. It's a good point.
That he's not going every single game, so that when he does play, he can give 110% because he's not the sort of guy who can pull it back. He has to go top speed all the time. So that also appears to be working for the Rockets.
Yeah, kudos to the Rockets that they're definitely resting him for the playoffs. This is the first time in his career that he's sitting games, period. And the first time sitting and resting has ever entered into the same sentence with Russell Westbrook. It just doesn't happen.
He might be sitting some more in the next coming weeks. He picked up his NBA high 14th technical foul last night. So if he receives 2 more, he will be suspended for 1 game. So maybe he's got that in his little back pocket there. Not only
do it the first night of a back-to-back so that he gets suspended for the second night anyways.
Right.
Smart.
It's possible. So Houston has won 5 straight now. They're 2 games out of the number 2 seed. And, just rolling.
And I just want to mention one thing about that, like Trey mentioned, that they're all they all feel like they have to play harder. When you don't have a big, like, oh, we got to scramble, we got to rebound together. Robert Covington, he used to be 6'9" when he was with Philadelphia, but now he's 6'7" with the Rockets. He's averaging 2.5 blocks a game with the Rockets in 8 games. That's a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
For a little dude. It's infectious, right? Like, they're all scrambling and they're all playing the same way, and they all love it. Can't wait till playoffs.
And that Rockets Thunder first round matchup could
You
happen.
called it a long time ago. But you were pretty high on the
Thunder,
OKC's
yes.
chances of winning that series.
Yeah.
Maybe you've changed your tune a little bit with how Houston's played.
I still, I think it'll
Hard
be
to
a long.
hit those high notes with all the phlegm, buddy.
Larynx taking you to another level.
I think it'd be a good long series. I'll leave it at that for right now.
What a
Crazy,
tease,
man.
What a tease. All right, let's get to some news here, guys. This broke yesterday. The Charlotte Hornets guard Malik Monk has been suspended indefinitely without pay for violating the NBA's anti-drug program. The suspension started with Charlotte's game last night and will continue until Monk is determined to be in full compliance with the program. The Hornets did tweet a statement, and they said, quote, "We are disappointed in Malik's decision-making that resulted in his suspension. As an organization, we do not condone his behavior. However, we are committed to supporting Malik during this time." Malik Monk, who had been playing actually really well over the last little stretch. I know nobody gives a damn about the Hornets, but he had been averaging like 18 points per game in the last 7, which was, getting going here.
Indefinitely is the concern here. Usually it's a 25 gamer.
Yeah.
So
This is marijuana. Can we?
Well, I don't know if it is.
assume that?
I would say it probably isn't.
I'm guessing.
Why wouldn't they just announce it 25 gamer then?
Isn't it 5 games the first
Yeah,
time?
'cause- Yeah, you don't jump right to 25. I don't know. My point is, I don't think this is like what Ayton got dinged for, and and Collins, like Pete.
Not a
what did they
PED.
get? Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
That's my guess. Complete guess. The sticky icky.
Yeah, I just think it
The
could,
wacky backy.
I just think it could be more serious because it's given that indefinite. Like
That is a weird phrasing for sure.
Yeah,
That's one
no
that I
doubt.
haven't
Right.
heard.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, but in some places it's saying if it's indefinitely, then it was not weed.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I.
because it would have an assigned stipulation, an assigned number to that. So
We'll find out.
oh, who knows?
Well, this is a bummer because if you remember when we were doing our preseason picks or questions, we had one that was like, who's a player entering a make or break season? And I picked Malik Monk, being here in his third year. He had been great at Kentucky, had shot the ball well there, and had struggled in his first 2 seasons. And I thought, maybe there'll be a chance he gets more consistent minutes and he has a bit of a breakout. And when we were talking about that, the Hornets hadn't even picked up at the time his 4th-year player option. Now they did, a couple days after we recorded that. So he's got that 4-year, $5.3 million next year. But, again, he had it going a little bit here, and it was a make-or-break season again, in my opinion. This doesn't help his chances. I know he's under contract for a year, and you can bounce back from this, and we'll find out what it is and how severe it is. But just still a bit of a bummer. A little bit of a bummer. This is not a bummer. Reports. Guys, according to The Athletics, Shams Charania, Warrior star Stephen Curry, will return to the Golden State lineup this Sunday against the Wizards, completing his comeback 4 months after surgery on his broken left hand. There's no word, though, on if he'll be on any type of minutes restriction. But Curry is coming back this weekend, hopefully.
Great news for the Kirby household. My girls ask me every morning, did Steph Curry play last night? Nope. Still hurt. What happened to him, Isla? He broke his hand. You're right. So they'll be excited, and, it'll be good. Maybe Andrew Wiggins will get a win.
Yeah. You can't...
when's the last time he won?
The last game he won was January 9th.
Come on. Really?
Timberwolves beat the Portland Trail Blazers. So it is honestly good, though, to get Steph Curry back because it'll make the Warriors a little bit more watchable, and they'll get a few games to see what he looks like next to Andrew Wiggins, to see if he can bring anything out of Wiggins.
You can't tell your girls that Seth Curry's playing, can you? They don't...
Oh, they know all about Seth Curry, but... just not the same.
Not the same.
They're more excited that Boban also plays on the Dallas Mavericks.
Is no one concerned at all about this idea in a year where you're 12-46 and you're by far the worst team in the league and you obviously don't have Clay? Like, I don't know. You still want to bring back Curry for the final 5 or 6 weeks? Even though
why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's what Kerr said. He addressed this, Steve Kerr. No, he's perfectly healthy. If the point is he might get hurt, what's the point of ever playing anybody? I guess the argument is we're not making the playoffs, so are we not trying to entertain our fans?
Yeah.
Steve Kerr thinking about the fans. If Curry's good to go, he should be playing.
And that's why I doubt he'll have a minutes restriction, because an injury like this, like, it's not like a muscle strain.
It is the hand, right?
Yeah.
Those like Baines fell on him, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. You're right. It's not a strain in the leg or
that you're coming back from a hamstring or something.
Or a knee injury or something like that. Fair.
And he's always had the green light to shoot any shot, but now when there's nothing on the line and he doesn't have Clay, he's going to be shooting from everywhere.
Think so?
The clip...
Half-court pull-ups?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Pretty close.
It's the
definitely logo pull-ups.
Well, yeah, it's the 4-year anniversary of him hitting that bomb in overtime against OKC.
That's right.
Where he just pulled up from basically the logo or just over half.
That Saturday night game.
Yeah, that was a Saturday night game.
That was fun. The clip or the video that the NBA Twitter account shared this week of Steph pulling up already got me excited. I mean, he was in rhythm from the logo.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to watch Steph again.
He needs to get some shots up in the Chase Center, too.
That's true.
Remember the very first preseason game, pulled up from half court, complete air ball. He's only shot 11 for 31 in Chase Center. You got to get used to those sight lines for next season when everybody's ready.
Good point. And it could be fun to see the Warriors and Curry play some sort of like playoff spoiler in like big games where teams are trying to get into the playoffs or whatever positioning. It's possible if he can make the Warriors, who have basically sort of a G League team, if he can make them competent enough to win some games here with him and Wiggins. I will say, though, SB Nation's Matt Ellentucky had a good point, I thought. Had this year's draft class had like a Zion Williamson or like, a Luka or something, like a like bona fide star in the making, appear to be at least, you wonder if the Warriors would have leaned a little harder into like, you know what, just take off the final 6 weeks here. We'll lean a little harder into the tank. Now, they have a comfortable lead in that position anyway, and the smoothed out lottery odds, help everybody's chances, I guess. You don't need to be the worst, is my point, to get that 25%, because that's gone. Now you're at 14. But I think it's fair if there was like a Zion. Maybe they don't rush as much.
They've got 5 fewer wins than the next worst team.
That's what I said.
That's a lot.
I said they're comfortable.
And honestly, play your guys. Like, if Steph Curry is healthy, play him. Everybody was excited to see Steph Curry this year to be unleashed. He was a popular MVP pick because he was going to have no Kevin Durant around, no Klay Thompson for the first part of the season. People were pumped, myself included, to see Steph Curry this year, so it's nice that we're actually going to. Don't lean into the tank. That's silliness.
Final piece of news here. LeBron James is going to lean into the tank. LeBron will miss tonight's game against the Warriors because of a sore groin. Not sure about his larynx. The team announced this on Wednesday. AD also listed as probable. He's got the sore left elbow. But I think this is more of a just we're playing the Warriors and Curry's not back yet.
That's fine, though. LeBron's earned the right to take a game off, whether it's load management or he's got a sore
I don't think you've
groin.
really truly earned it until year 18 or 19, in my opinion. I think it's a little premature.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine with it. LeBron's been brilliant. And honestly, LeBron has said, and I believe him, that he wants to play every game. So if he's not 100%, I understand him seeing this one and going, I'm going to sit this one out because a groin, this is the groin.
So he does want to play every game, or he doesn't want to play?
No, he wants to play, but he had that injury to his groin last year that cost him 6 weeks and basically ended his season. So if in any way he's got a tweak or a twine, he wants to...
The counter to that is he's
twine.
probably had a sore groin all year. Here and there, right?
Because everybody's on his dick.
And you can pick or choose when you don't want to play. No, look, he's played almost every game.
Yeah, I know.
I'm with
I
you.
know,
And
I know.
I would take off the game against the Warriors too, get some more rest. And they're gearing up for obviously what would hope to be a long playoff
Exactly.
run. And you're going to want LeBron at his peak powers. But
They've done a good job of separating themselves from the Nuggets, and it's a 5-game spread, so I think that they're a little bit more comfortable sitting him.
yeah,
That's helped.
fair enough. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
It's TBT, so this is an old tweet. It's from March 18th, 2018, from Izzy Honreiter, who says, my aunt just pronounced larynx as larynx, and I'm screaming. It's larynx, guys.
Wow.
Moving on to the actual tweets of the night. We asked yesterday on
Did you just
Twitter.
Google Twitter?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Googled pronounce larynx. What you got? Red Vines or Twizzlers? What do you guys think the vote was?
It was hardcore red vine.
Yeah, that's the American one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, red vine then.
80-20.
Twizzler.
Yeah.
What?
70-30. It's Twizzler country down here as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now for the real tweet of the night.
Oh man, 'cause
Yeah,
I saw that poll. I saw a different poll. It depends who's promoting these polls. Red Vine I saw
Interesting.
was running away with the poll.
Who's promoting these polls? Interesting. Yeah, the boost.
That's a great
It's a
point.
real Gallup
Yep.
poll.
Well, and Skeets, you mentioned that Canada is Twizzler country.
100%.
We got a huge Canadian audience, so maybe our results are skewed.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Good stuff. All right, so those were the opening acts for the true tweet of the night, which comes from Kirk Goldsberry,
Yes.
who tweeted out, the leading late clock scorers, we're talking minimum 100 shots taken with less than 6 seconds on the shot clock this season. Who are the top 5 players in late clock scoring? The guys who are going to get you a bucket when things break down.
Well, Chris Paul.
No.
Jokic.
Yes, Nikola Jokic, number 2.
Is
it
it
doesn't have to
just
just be
scoring?
fourth
Yeah.
quarter. It's like last 6 seconds of a shot clock.
Oh, okay. And just scoring or assist as well? Like
Points per
setting up?
shot.
Yeah. Oh,
Field
okay.
goals,
Okay.
yeah.
LeBron.
Number 1.
Yeah. Okay, LeBron, Jokic, we got.
Lillard?
No Chris Paul.
No Lillard.
James Harden.
James Harden, of course, tied for third with another guy who has a similar game to Damian Lillard, I would say.
Beal.
Nope, no Beal.
Trae Young.
An all-star this season. We watched him play last night. Had a good scoring game last night. Didn't get the win, however.
Ooh.
Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy
no.
Butler.
Karis LeVert.
Nope, Karis LeVert. No,
He's not
this
an all-star.
all-star. How else could I describe this guy?
Devin?
He's the guy who gets the ball when the team breaks down, for sure.
Devin.
Not Devin. Also, he's on par with Devin.
It's not Lou Williams.
Not Lou Williams.
Tatum.
Nope, not Tatum. Not Tatum. This man is a first-time All-Star. He's got another All-Star Weekend trophy in his trophy case from last season.
Zach Levine.
No.
From last season.
Yep.
What did he do?
It wasn't an All-Star.
Shootout, dunk contests.
Ooh, 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, he won the dunk contest. It's crazy that you guys have already forgotten this man.
Glenn Robinson.
No, we talked about him earlier this episode.
Oh,
Say it.
no, Diallo, but
No.
that was last year.
This guy's an all-star. He's a great dunker. He's got the ball at the end of every game. If he's hitting, his team is probably winning, but they're not winning a lot right now.
Mitchell.
That's right. Donovan
Oh,
Mitchell.
yeah, yeah.
Remember Donovan
Yeah,
Mitchell?
yeah.
No,
And number
absolutely not.
5, a super surprising one. I'm not even going to let you guys guess. Julius Randle.
Wow.
Julius Randle getting buckets
We
for the
would
New York Knicks.
not have gotten to that one.
Yeah, I heard Alonzo Trier's name again last night.
He
Surprising.
played.
Yeah.
Good. Knicks lost again last night, though, right? To the Hornets.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hornets,
that's right.
yeah.
Sure, a lot of people were watching that. All right, pick 'em results. Ho ho! My month of hell continued. I, along with Tass, had Utah, who were favored by 4.5 at home. Boston, last game of their road trip, thought Utah might get it together. All those lineup changes, nope. Tatum, 33 and 11. Another great game from the Celtics. They got the W. Hit the money line. So Trey and Leigh, they win. Tass and I got the L's. Here's where we're at. I've already officially lost the month of February. You got a suggestion for the pick and payoff? Tweet it in at NoDunksInc, hashtag NoDunks. What do you want me to do to pay it off? But we figured let's do one more pick for the month of February, and here's why. You guys, the three of you guys, are tied. You're all 8-6. So why not have one more game? Doesn't matter who I pick, but let's see who is the best picker when it comes to the month of February here in the office. So what's our game, Tassie?
Well, we talked about LeBron sitting out tonight against the Golden State Warriors. They're going into Golden State, and they're favored by 11.5, even with LeBron's injury, because Anthony Davis is probable.
Yeah.
It's not a lock, but probable. And I would guess Draymond Green's going to sit, too. He's also a game-time decision, but if Rich Paul says, LeBron, you're sitting, quite often the Rich Paul bros sit together. So...
Right.
What you got? 11 and a half.
That's a toughie.
Give me the Warriors. They're gonna cover.
Oh, easy on your
Wow.
points,
What have I
man.
got? I've got 11 points, have I, in my bag?
Yeah, you got 11 points in your
11
bag.
points in my bag.
I don't know. You want to get your bag up here and sip it a little bit more?
Yeah, which pocket you got those points in?
All right, so you got the Warriors?
Yeah.
Plus 11.5.
I'm gonna take the Warriors too.
Ooh. Trey.
I'll swerve a lerv. Why not? Give me the Lakers.
I'll take the Lakers as well. You're in trouble, man.
Yeah, I am now.
You don't want me touching your pick right now. 3-11.
Get away from my pick, man.
Oh, brutal. We got that's the second game of the TNT doubleheader. The first one, fascinating for TNT. You don't see this at 8 o'clock often. The Blazers playing at the 8 o'clock slot versus the Pacers. Just an interesting game again. One of those
Quite
weird
interesting.
Ones. Yeah, got Knicks Sixers as well tonight, and Kings Thunder could be the best game of the night at 8 o'clock. That one's on League Pass. All right, that's it for us today. Make sure to check out the other great podcasts on the Athletic Network. Count the Dinks, Back to Back, Hoops Adjacent, and so many more. If you all want in on the best sports writing in the world, head to theathletic.com/NoDunks to save 40% on an annual subscription. Trust me, it's well worth it. New drop podcast tomorrow on Friday. We'll see you then.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Larry the larynx has 2 humps. Larry the larynx has 2 humps. Larry the larynx has 2 humps. So ride, Larry, ride. Boom, boom, boom.
Embrace the day, people.
Thought you'd join me on the boom, boom, boom.